red lights go on and the lights go out, and off they go up towards target for the first time. And it's a pretty good start by the driver from pole position, but Justin Griffiths has got up to second place at the expense of Jack McConnell. He's dropped down to third place. It looks like Pete O'Connor is in fourth position, although he has cars either side of him going up into the right-hander at the bank. He's dropped back to sixth place, and he's only just got the lead of the 182 still. We'll keep an eye on that, but the cars that have made progress there, Darren Ransom certainly one of them, and the other is the 297 car of Jan Whittaker in the ex-Jack Dwayne car. But leading the way, that blue and yellow car that won the race this morning of Chris Lawrence. He's leading the way, but there you can see of the 182s there, Pete O'Connor is only just ahead of number 7, Stephen Richardson.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? And down into, what, about 6th place overall, so that's not really gone to plan for him. The leaders overall are nose to tail as well, and there's a side-by-side battle there between the 297 of Jan Whittaker and the number 14 of Jack McConnell. McConnell on the outside, the black car with the gold highlights and the gold rims. The all-black number 297 car, though, I think is the one that's going to move through. Of Jan Whittaker gains a position, and that will be 4th place, I believe, as they head down the hill. Behind them, though, side-by-side between the top two in the 182 class. And look at this, for the first time, there's a real challenge, really, this weekend being taken to Peter O'Connor. There may have been a bit of a clash of doors between the two of them, and in fact, the top 3 in that class all running nose to tail.
Yes, they are, and the third of those cars is number 13, Mark Enoch, at the moment. There's Jan Whittaker in his first season of racing. I think it's the first time out in that car as well for the 38-year-old director from Nottingham. Done some Rotax karting in the past. He's got plans to be racing in GT3 by 2027. Let's see how that pans out, making his start in Clio here. He's got ahead of the 14 car of Jack McConnell, who started on the front row of the grid. He's up to 4th place now behind Lawrence, Griffiths and Ransom, those 3 having made a break. Then you've got the 2 black cars together, and then desperately trying to go with them is Pete O'Connor, and also try and put some daylight between himself and Stephen Richardson, who's second within that class. They're up towards Rocket Corner for the second time now in this race. There you can see the number 12 car as well, Matt Hipkins. He's got Joshua North behind him, who's 4th within the 182 class.
Yep, over towards the top end of the circuit they go, the highest point of the track up at Peel Corner before they start the very rapid but very steep descent back down to the lowest point on the track here on the start-finish straight. It all happens really within the space of 3 corners, and those 3 corners are coming up now through the left at the top of the corkscrew, the right at the middle of the corkscrew, and the left at the bottom of the corkscrew, otherwise known as the bus stop. And Chris Lawrence, unlike this morning in the very, very, very wet conditions, where I suspect that he had a very, very, very good wet setup on the car, he's not getting away, is he? Only half a second the gap back to Justin Griffiths, with Darren Ransom very much going with them. So I do suspect that Chris Lawrence, whether it was setup or whether he's just a bit of a wet weather expert, I don't know, but that may have played into that dominance earlier on today. In race 3, though, not having things all his own way.
Certainly not, but the first 3 are getting away from the rest of them. It's Lawrence leading by just under half a second at the start of this lap from Griffiths. Ransom another half a second back in 3rd place. Then it's about 3 seconds back to Jan Whittaker. We'll go on board with Griffiths, who's in 2nd place here, chasing after the race leader, Chris Lawrence. Through school they go, continue to sort of curve right, and then on the brakes and change of direction into the left-hander at Rocket, where it's really a blind crest, isn't it, as they come over there. Then you've got Ransom there in 3rd position, number 30. You've got Stephen Richardson right behind Pete O'Connor among the 182s, just behind these 2 cars that are battling for 4th and 5th positions overall. Jan Whittaker and Jack McConnell, we'll see them in shot there. Yep, look, they're absolutely together, those 2 182s.
Yeah, this is a much more competitive race across both classes, really, isn't it? Peter O'Connor then with some defending to do if he's going to keep Stephen Richardson at bay. Richardson's had 2 second place finishes, hasn't he, this week? No, sorry, a 2nd and a 4th place in class. It was 4th only yesterday, and that would have been in dry conditions, quite similar to these as well. So he's clearly made some changes to the car overnight and looks a lot more competitive now, although Peter O'Connor just stretches the margin to 8/10 as they cross the line this time. They're dropping Mark Enoch now in 3rd place in the class. And as they head to Church Corner, that looked like it was getting very close all of a sudden between Chris Lawrence and Justin Griffiths. Justin Griffiths is right behind the race leader now as they head through Church Corner and in prime slipstreaming range heading up the hill.
Certainly is. He's got the race leader in vision, and literally only about a car length between the 2 of them as they climb now through that right-hand king, then onto the brakes, into the left-hander for Rocket Corner. Nose to tail, no move being made yet there by Justin Griffiths. Has a look up the inside into the second element of Rocket, but there's not really a gap there for him to do anything about it. Then onto the power again, tentatively for the run up to Peel, but you're really not making much progress up through the gears at this point of the circuit. And then they sort of unwind from that and then sinuously down the hill through the corkscrew and back to the end of another lap. This is going to be lap 4 that's about to be completed. There's 3/10 between Lawrence and Griffiths at the start of the lap. It's probably not going to be much different to that now.
No, much tighter line through the last corner there for David Griffiths means that he's less than a Clio's length behind. It is a quarter of a second at the line, so it came down by another half a tenth for what it's worth, which really isn't very much, is it? Because they are that close together now that Justin Griffiths isn't really watching the timing screen. Instead, he's focusing on trying to find a way past Chris Lawrence. He takes a very wide line into the banking, does Justin Griffiths. Does that give him a superior exit from the corner? Well, not really, actually. Chris Lawrence, I'd say, made a net gain through the second corner that time. Both take a nice tight line through the right-hander at Church Corner. You can see that Griffiths' car is the facelifted Renault Clio. Underneath, identical, of course, to Chris Lawrence's car. It just looks slightly more modern, but they're both quite clearly evenly matched here this afternoon. And this could be an absolute milestone to end our weekend at Anglesey.
Meanwhile, a bit further back, Pete O'Connor trying to take the fight to Jack McConnell here. He's got a bit more daylight between himself and Stephen Richardson than he had, by which I mean about 2 car lengths. And a bit further back, we're getting a change for third within that class as well, because Mark Enoch has been passed by Joshua North there on the way into Rocket Corner. On the way out now, Joshua North does get that move sealed. He's 4th in the championship coming into this weekend. Of course, points are scored based on class rather than overall finishing position. Josh North 2nd within the Class A standings so far this year, behind Pete O'Connor, or Stephen Richardson behind them, although he won both of the first 2 races in the season at Brands Hatch. This is the 3rd meeting of the year. They've also been to Castle Combe as well. Chris Lawrence now does the best lap of the race, a 1:22.475. Not quite as quick as Justin Griffiths managed yesterday.
No, indeed not. So Chris Lawrence then eking back out in front, but not by a lot. It's still only a couple of car length as they head for Church Corner. But good to see Joshua North running a bit better today. Had a 2nd place finish yesterday, but was only 5th in class this morning. So again, I think the fact that they've had 1 dry race, 1 wet race so far, we've seen a bit of a jumbling of the order, a mix of the order across both of those races, and now we're back in dry conditions again. We're starting to see some of those that went well yesterday moving towards the front once again in race number 3. There at the back of the shot was our Class A leader of the 182's Peter O'Connor. A 2nd clear now of Stephen Richardson, or he was at the start of the lap anyway. And Stephen Richardson, I think, maybe now just beginning to lose touch ever so slightly. What he'd like, really, actually, is those 2 ahead start battling, and that's Joshua North. No, Joshua North pulling off seemingly into retirement, having just moved into a podium place within the class. The number 10 car is out of the race.
That's a great shame that Joshua North has come to grief here. He was up into 3rd place within the class. He's now retired from the race. He's pulled off the circuit. Yellow flags, of course, waving now at Rocket, where that car has come to a halt. Meanwhile, no yellow flags at this part of the track, as the track limit is certainly being explored by the first 3 drivers, Chris Lawrence, Justin Griffiths and Darren Ransom, who are separated by 1.7 seconds. You can see Joshua North just tumbling down the timing screen there, as other drivers like Mark Enoch, Mark Witherington, Max Martin and Matthew Ponsier all get ahead of him. As we're watching the battle for 4th that's never really sort of dissipated, has it, between Jan Whittaker and Jack McConnell, 2 newcomers this season to the Clio 197s. They're having a great fight. Pete O'Connor just behind them. He's got how much in hand? He's got about 1 second in hand over Stephen Richardson as well, so he has not got, by any stretch of the imagination, a comfortable margin within the 182 division.
No, not at all. They head through the left-hander at Rocket then. And as I started to say, if these 2 197s start to battle, those of Jan Whittaker and Jack McConnell, that could sort of delay Peter O'Connor and give Stephen Richardson a 2nd chance at getting into the fight. But so far, they're not really holding each other up enough for that to happen. Over the hill, down through Peel Corner again into the corkscrew, exiting which are the leading 3. And I'd say now Chris Lawrence just starting to stamp his authority a little bit more onto this race, just creeping away from Justin Griffiths. Yeah, 7 tenths now, so that's about the biggest it's been really all race long. As further back, Jan Whittaker and Jack McConnell, they've never been more than a couple of car lengths apart, have they, all race? But Jan Whittaker, having got that place earlier on, can't break away, but equally hasn't ever looked that likely, really, to lose the spot.
No, that's right. Only 5 minutes to go, so a third of the race left to go here. At Anglesey, they can see 4th, 5th, 6th right together. Then, oh, another car has come to stop. That's Mark Witherington, number 18, the Auto Smart car, has come to a halt. That's a great shame for the man from Melton Mowbray. Disappointing that his race has come to a premature conclusion. The man, I say, from Melton Mowbray, the Auto Smart franchise owner, has done some MG Owners Club racing in the past as well. As here comes Pete O'Connor. He's going to get in between the two black 197s, is he? Is he, or is he not? Maybe not. He's still up on the inside of Jack McConnell. Stephen Richardson's not too far behind either. This is probably incentivising him to try and get a car between himself and his class rival now. It's on the inside line for Peel. Surely this is going to work. But look, Stephen Richardson is really close to him as well now. He's almost buying into this battle as well. Down towards the corkscrew. Yeah, we have now got Pete O'Connor up to 5th place, ahead of Jack McConnell. So McConnell now the filling in a 182 sandwich. The 182 is the bread, and McConnell the filling, just to explain that in a little bit of unnecessary detail.
I follow that, I think. Yes, Richardson has closed in there, but only really because Peter O'Connor started battling with Jack McConnell. So it's a good job he went through, otherwise that could have looked a little bit silly, really. But anyway, he has now got that buffer between himself and Stephen Richardson. It's now down to Richardson to try and go with him, which he tried to do through the corkscrew, but just wasn't quite able to get fully alongside the number 14 car, which retains at least 6th place overall, 5th place therefore within its class still. The hill come the leading two. Gap came down by a 10th that time around. So Justin Griffiths is certainly keeping Chris Lawrence honest, but I just haven't at any point seen him really looking all that likely to attack. I mean, he could be saving something up for the closing stages, I suppose, but yeah, he can get close, but not quite close enough at the right parts of the track.
All right, back on board with Griffiths we go now, and still it's that similar view, isn't it, with Lawrence, that similar gap, only a car length or two ahead. Over the curbs goes Lawrence at the exit of Peel there, peering through the windscreen, down through the corkscrew, and that right-hand apex, and then this left-hander past the pit lane entrance to complete the lap. They're probably going to have 2 more laps to go. Someone's getting a driving standards flag, I can see. Let's hope it's not the race leader, and you might get a 5-second penalty by the end of the race again, but we'll keep an eye on who might be getting that black and white driving standards flag if we possibly can. 0.7 of a second the lead though for Chris Lawrence as he now works his way around this penultimate lap of the race.
Yeah, I'm trying to spot the number on the board. It was number 13 being
Mark
given the
Enoch.
warning. Yes, it is. Down in, well, 9th overall, but still running in a class podium position, isn't he? 3rd place in Class A, so he won't want to throw that away with a 5-second penalty. Up the hill we go then, with time for this and 1 more lap, I would imagine. So a lap and a half of racing to go. The leader's heading up the hill anyway. There is Peter O'Connor, the Class A leader, still clear of Jack McConnell. In fact, getting away from Jack McConnell now, I would say, and therefore getting further away from Stephen Richardson, his nearest Class A rival. As they climb the hill then up towards the braking zone at Rocket, O'Connor's car moving around a little bit under braking, but hooks up the apex quite nicely. Goes past his teammate car of Joshua North that's parked off to the side of the road, and we jump back on board with Justin Griffiths giving us perhaps our last on-board view around the Anglesey Coastal Circuit, looking splendid in the afternoon summer sunshine, but he's not really worried about that right now. What he wants to do is get a little bit closer to Chris Lawrence's car ahead. He's got 1 more lap to try and get through and steal the win away. Yeah,
he won yesterday, did Justin Griffiths. Chris Lawrence won this morning. They turn their way through the target first left-hander of the lap for the final time. 0.7 of a second again between them. They did identical lap times last time around, both doing 122.923. Darren Ransom 4 seconds behind, so he's not really in the equation. It looks like we've got a car going slowly. Chloe Daly, I think, on the back stretch as well, just seeing out of our commentary box window, but she continues on. So these 2 leaders, Andy, they're heading up towards Rocket for the final time.
Yeah, and I'd say now Justin Griffiths is further back than he's been at any point so far in this race, so Chris Lawrence just needs to keep his cool here, not making mistakes, and he should be on course for a race victory then. Up the hill, onto the brakes they go. Behind them, Darren Ransom still in 3rd, Jan Whittaker still 4th, but only just Peter O'Connor closing in on Jan Whittaker now, heading towards Rocket for the final time. He might have been tempted to go up the inside line, but again, it's a risk not really worth taking.
No, absolutely not. So down through the corkscrew for the final time comes Chris Lawrence, and having scored his first win earlier on today, looks like he is going to add that tally in this second race. One in the wet and one in the beautiful sunshine of Anglesey Circuit. Final race of the day. He's got the back marking Chloe Daly just ahead. She just about managed to get out of the way, and Chris Lawrence takes the checkered flag to win the third race of the weekend for the K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship, the 7th round of the season. Justin Griffith takes second place, Darren Ransom third. Gap back then to Jan Whittaker, a fine fourth. Peter O'Connor wins the 182s in fifth. Jack McConnell sixth, then second of the 182s is Stephen Richardson. Matt Hipkins is eighth. And here is the final podium finisher in the 182s, and that is Mark Enoch, number 13.
Yeah, Mark Enoch then did not, by the looks of it, pick up a 5-second penalty for track limits. That's good news. So that warning was enough to persuade him to stay within track limits and not pick up a penalty. So yeah, takes home third place in the class. But Peter O'Connor, another brilliant drive to win the 182 class in that race. There goes the 57 car across the line, one of the last remaining cars home, Matthew Poncia, followed by David Redshaw. Both of those running within Class A. Poncia coming home 5th in class, David Redshaw 6th, and Chloe Daly, as we saw. Well, did she go a lap down? No, I don't think she did quite go a lap down by the line, so actually she's got to complete another lap, but appears to have slowed down and chopped in behind the leaders. So anyway, the race essentially is over, and Chris Lawrence is our race winner.
Indeed he is. Final race of the weekend completed here at Anglesey Circuit. The Clios will head to Snetton 4 weeks from now to have another triple header in their season. We've had some great racing at Anglesey during the course of this weekend. Let's have a look at the results for the final time. It was a win for number 1, Chris Lawrence, by 0.8 of a second from Justin Griffiths. 3 seconds behind him was Darren Ransom, then it was Jan Whittaker 4th. Peter O'Connor winning the 182s in 5th. Number 14, Jack McConnell, completed the top 6. Then Stephen Richardson, Matt Hipkins, Mark Enoch and Max Martin running out the top 10 ahead of Matthew Poncia. David Redshaw, the last car, I think, to cross the line in the end of it, with Chloe Daly, Mark Witherington and Joshua North ultimately failing to take the checker flag. So that is it for another 750 Motor Club race weekend here at Anglesey. It's been a great pleasure to have Andy McEwen alongside me. Enjoy it, Andy.
As always a pleasure, Ian, and yeah, I feel like we've had a bit of everything this weekend, haven't we? And I'm not just talking about the weather, some really brilliant racing throughout the entire weekend, even actually in those tricky conditions earlier on today. It's quite often in weather that poor that survival really is the priority for the drivers, but no, they were still racing hard, still putting on a show, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the couple of 750 Motor Club events that I've had the privilege to be at this year.
Enjoyed having your company as well. Quick thanks to all of the marshals that have helped to make this weekend's race meeting possible. It's been great to have your support as ever. Thanks to all of the other officials of the 750 Motor Club who've made this possible. The competitors have put on a great show. The Alpha Live production crew and the camera ops in some dodgy weather this morning have done a great job as well. So thanks to all of those. Next 750 Motor Club meeting, not live streamed, it's in 2 weeks' time at Cadwell Park. Hope you join Marcus Pye and myself there. But from Andy McEwen and myself, it's a very good afternoon to you, and we'll leave you in the company of Kieran Mugg.
Well, what a race to round out an amazing weekend, and we're going to chat with the race winner, Chris Lawrence. Chris, you had to work for that one.
Yeah, I was on me. I had Griffiths in my mirrors all the way there. I knew he, from qualifying yesterday, he looked stronger in the dry than me. But obviously beating him early in the wet, I was just fingers crossed and chucked another setup at it and just hope for the best, really. Wanted to have 3 wins here. It's a tall order around here. We've only been here twice before in the past, first time in the 197, so I can't ask for much more, really.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can't ask for a better weekend, really, to round it off. And did you feel as comfortable in the dry as you did in the wet?
I loved it in the wet. When you can go forward that fast, it's mega. Different style of driving, just keeping it smooth and not overdriving it. I just wanted another win, because I need to start gaining the points I need now.
No, absolutely. Well, congratulations on an amazing weekend.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to speak to our second place man, Justin Griffiths. Justin, so close but not quite. You're almost there.
Yeah, it's same thing, tyres. It's going to change at Snet, I can assure you of that. We're going to get some new rubber on it and push forward again. Yeah, I didn't have anything to answer to Chris there. There was nothing in us, so yeah, it was a good race.
Do you reckon with the new tyres you can put the fight to him?
Most definitely, yes. Yeah.
Look forward to seeing that then.
Excellent. Yeah, see you there.
Cheers, thank you very much. Now, if we just speak to Darren quickly. Down a few seconds behind, but almost there.
Yeah, ABS issue. I locked up, second lap in, flat spotted the tyres, and that's all I had. I couldn't do no more. Just hold on, they're so quick. It was a good race though, happy with that. Another podium.
Definitely. I mean, is that giving you confidence for the next round maybe to put the fight to them?
Yeah, I like Snetterton, yeah. Hopefully we can be at the front again, hopefully. Try not to flat spot tyres.
Absolutely. Well, look, good luck for then, and thank you, and well done for the podium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to speak to our class winner, Peter O'Connor. Now, Peter, we spoke earlier about saying that did you realise you were in a different class, but I think maybe you did in that race.
Yeah, I struggled a bit on my raw pace, so sandwiched between 2 197s, but yeah, good result in the end, 3 wins, so take that. Yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And how did you find the dry racing compared to the wet racing earlier?
So the car wasn't as easy to drive, really. I'd probably had in the back of my mind that yesterday when I made all the smoke over there, that kind of ruined a set of tyres. So I was thinking a bit of not buying another set of tyres, to be honest. So yeah, good set of results. The US car was flying, so it's all good.
Amazing. Well, congratulations and a fantastic way to end the weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much. Say hello to Cleona and Jake, my 2 little kids that are watching. So hiya.
Excellent, thank you very much. Right, well, that rounds out an amazing weekend of racing we've had here at Anglesey. It's been a fantastic couple of days, and we just want to say thank you very much to all of you for watching. We want to say thank you also to the marshals. We couldn't go racing without them. So from myself, from Ian, from Andy, from Alpha Live, and from 750, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.